Hey everybody, Lance Bell here, mind of a black moderate conservative. It's been a little while, but I am back. Just remember to like, share, subscribe, all those good things. Now, this has been bothering me for the last few days. I want to talk about it a little bit. Now, the only reason why I'm bringing this up, number one, is Bill Gates, one of the richest people in the world. And number two, this was an interview with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Review. So it was from MIT. Now you can see right in the title it says, Bill Gates, rich nations should shift entirely to synthetic beef. Now, I understand where he's coming from, but it also shows how out of touch he is with the masses right now, and I better explain. Now, when I read it, and I'll get down to the article here, we'll read it verbatim here. Let me see here. It says here, and I'm reading here, in the book you cover, because you got a book out, you cover a broad array of hard to solve sectors. The one I still have the hardest time with in the terms of fully addressing is food. The scale is massive. We barely begun. We fundamentally don't have replacements that completely eliminate the highly potent emissions from bumping livestock and fertilizer. How hopeful you are about agriculture? That's the question proposed to him. Now here's his answer. There are companies, including one of them, Breakthrough Energy Ventures portfolio called Pivot Bio, that's significantly reduce the amount of fertilizer you need. There are advances in seeds, including seeds that do what linguines do, that is able to convert nitrogen into soil into compounds that plants can use biologically. But the ability to improve photosynthesis and improve nitrogen fixation is one of the most under-investigated things. Okay, now from a science standpoint, he has a point. It's really not really looked into outside of the organic side, and organic is always the best to go versus synthetic. But I get where you're coming from. Now, this is what pisses me off. In terms of livestock, it's very difficult. There are things that were fed them differently food. There's this one compound that gives you a 20% reduction in methane emission, but sadly, those bacteria in the digestive system that produce methane are a necessary part of breaking down the grass. And so I don't know, there is some natural approach there. I'm afraid that's the synthetic protein alternatives like plant-based burgers will be required for at least the beef thing. Now, people like Memphis Meats, who do call it cellular level, I don't know it'll be ever economical, but Impossible and Beyond has a roadmap, a quality roadmap that cost roadmap. That makes them totally competitive. As far for scale today, they don't represent 1% of the meat in the world, but they're on the way. And Breakthrough Energy has 4 different investments in this space, making ingredients very efficiently. So yeah, this is one area my optimism 5 years ago would have made this steel, and cement the 3 hardest. Now I said I can actually see a path, but you're right saying to people you can't have cows anymore, particularly in politically unpopular approach a thing. Now here's the thing, and the article goes on, and he talks about third world countries. Now I understand from that standpoint, he's saying that it might get to 20% synthetic, but here in this country, 80%? I mean, he says it too. For Africa and other poor countries, we have to use animal genetics to dramatically raise the amount of beef permission for them. Weirdly, the U.S. livestock there is so productive, emissions per pound of beef are dramatically less than per pound in Africa. As part of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's work, we've been taking the benefit of African livestock, means survive heat and crossing monsters' productivity on both of the meat side and milk side of the leaf U.S. beef lines. So no, I don't think the poorest 80 countries be eating synthetic meat. I do think all rich countries should move to 100%, synthetic beef. You can get used to the taste difference and claim we're going to make the taste even better over time. Eventually that cream premium modest enough you can sort to change the behavior of people totally shift on demand. So let me tell you something, Mr. Gates. This shows how out of touch you are. Now I get it from the emissions of methane from cows. It was a big thing last year with AOC. I get it. But I want you to do me a favor, Mr. Gates. I want you to step out of your big ass mansion up in Washington, jump in your car, and I want you to go to your local Dollar Tree and hit the freezers. Synthetic meat has been out for years. And let me tell you something. It's disgusting. I won't eat it. So I'm up there in the rich developers of Washington. Come down here to the mean streets of East Akron. And go in them stores, then come eat that food, then come talk to me. The taste will never get better, no matter how many fillers you put in it. And let's be real. You might have all these tracts of farmland. So I'm not sure you're trying to help third world countries or trying to corner the market so you can make a killing on synthetic food. I'm not sure which one. And I hate to come off like that, but it tells you right there you don't have a flippin' clue what you're talking about. Because let me tell you something. The population at large is not going to go for that. And give you a perfect example. You're never going to see this video, but if you actually do, I want a video response on what I'm saying right now. Go on YouTube right now, and anybody else can do this. And if I remember, I'll put a link to his channel below. The Wolf Pit. He goes to Dollar Tree all the time and eat their food. And when you start pulling that meat out of those packages, you can see why this is not going to work, at least not for a long flipping time. Humans need their meat. Now, I understand there's vegans, vegetarians, and lacto-ovo vegetarians. I get it. I understand it. But I'm talking about us as a first world country here in the United States. The mass population, unless you're really on the other end of the economic spectrum, is not going to eat this food. And I'm talking about straight up synthetic food. And yes, you have the plant-based burgers. That's never going to go away. I'm talking about the straight up synthetic food. And yes, I'm passionate about this because this is a huge problem. So Mr. Gates, please do that for me. Go eat that nasty flipping food, then come back and talk to me. Like I said, come on, man. I know you're trying to do the right thing, but you're so out of touch on this subject, you just don't get it. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would really like to know what you think. But always remember, like, share, subscribe, all those good things. Once again, my name is Lance Bell. Mind of a black, moderate conservative.